Hey guys, and welcome back to Morgs Menu. So today we're going to be doing another package label recipe, so where I just take a random food product and try out one of the recipes that's on the back. So today we're going to be using this Swanson beef cooking stock. It is unsalted. That's just the version that I had in my cabinet, but I noticed on the back it has a recipe for peppercorn seasoned steaks with mustard wine sauce. So that sounded pretty good, so I'm going to follow the recipe exactly how it says, and we'll see how it turns out. Alright, so if you're familiar with these types of videos, you know the drill. I'm going to go through all the ingredients that we're going to need and then follow this exactly step by step, not making any alterations, just doing exactly as it says to see if the true recipe is good, not trying to use any of my other knowledge or thoughts behind what I would do if I were cooking this recipe. So to get us started off, we obviously need some steaks. This is a steak recipe. So it calls for about 6 steaks, so I'm only going to be doing 2, but they are pretty big, which is why I'm still doing half of the recipe. So it says to do about 6 beef tenderloin steaks about 1 inch thick, and the total pound weight in meat is going to be 1 3/4 pounds. So I have just under a pound of fillets here. You also, as most recipes, need some salt and pepper. Calls for 3 tablespoons of chopped or diced shallots, so I have about 1.5 tablespoons here. Calls for 3/4 cup of wine, but we're doing half of that, so just for reference, that's like 1/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons. Again, recipe calls for 1.5 tablespoons of the Dijon mustard, so we'll do just under 1 tablespoon. Same with the butter, 1.5 tablespoons, so we're going to do just under 1 tablespoon of butter. And then you'll obviously need the stock here, so it calls for 1.5 cups, so we'll do about 3/4 cup of the stock. And then lastly, it does call for chopped fresh parsley, but unfortunately both grocery stores that I went to this week were out of parsley. Not sure what's going on there, but I do have dried, so we'll just sub that out. So just for reference too, it does look like this is kind of one of those one-pan meals, so it looks like we're going to cook the beef and then cook the sauce and then pour the sauce over the beef to serve, and I'm going to be serving it on the side with some mashed cauliflower. Alright, so overall the steps to this seem very easy. So first off, you're just going to season your beef with salt and pepper on both sides. And then it says to go ahead and spray a nonstick skillet with vegetable cooking spray and heat over medium-high heat for 1 minute. Mine generally takes longer than that, but we're going to try it and see how it goes. Because you'd normally be cooking 6 of these steaks, it says to add beef in batches and cook until brown on both sides, but we're only going to need to do 1 batch, and our pan's a little bit smaller. It says to cook 10 minutes for medium rare or until desired doneness, so we'll do about 10 minutes, maybe 12 minutes, depending on kind of what it's looking like, because my steaks are pretty thick. And it does say to flip that halfway through, so we'll do 5 to 6 minutes per side. Once they're done to however you prefer them to be cooked, you can take them off, and it says cover to keep them warm. So I'll throw mine on a plate and cover with some aluminum foil. Now it looks like we're moving on to the sauce. So it says just to add the shallots to your skillet and cook until tender, stirring occasionally. So I'll probably do 3 or 4 minutes because my pan's already pretty hot and the shallots are pretty small. Once they're tender, it says stir in your stock, wine, and mustard and heat to a boil. Once boiled, we're going to reduce that heat to medium. And then it says to cook 10 minutes or until the sauce is reduced to about 1 cup, stirring occasionally. So again, my sauce is going to be smaller because we did half the recipe, so it'll be about 1/2 cup in my pan. Once it's reduced, it says to stir in your butter, and then just serve the sauce over the beef and sprinkle with your parsley. Alright, so here we have our final product, if you can see. So we've got like the shallots and sauce, and then the sauce is kind of taken over all in the bottom of the bowl plate kind of thing, which sounds really good, especially with the mashed potatoes or mashed cauliflower that I have paired with it. So we're going to take a bite and see how the sauce tastes. Alright, so the steak is cooked pretty good. Still got some pink in there. I wouldn't say it's medium rare. I did cut it on the end, so it may be a little bit less done in the middle, but I was scared that it wasn't enough time, so I overcooked it just a little bit than what I would normally like. And now I'm just gonna dip in the little sauce, get a little shallot in there. That's good. I'm gonna try a little bit of sauce with the mashed potatoes too to get a good flavor. Yeah, that's actually very good. Wow. Okay. Wow. I mean, that was pretty good. That was a pretty simple recipe on the back here. I was worried it wasn't gonna be super flavorful because there wasn't a lot of seasonings, but honestly, it was really good. I think the Dijon mustard and the wine really have kind of rich flavors, so that brought out a lot of flavor. The steak was pretty good. Hindsight's always 20/20, but I definitely would have cooked it in my cast iron. I just didn't even think about it. It said nonstick skillet, and I didn't even think about the fact that I was searing steaks and cooking steaks, so definitely would recommend, and next time I would do something like this, I would do it in my cast iron. But the skillet worked if that's all you have. It did make my house a little bit smoky though because of the kind of medium-high heat with searing, so just something to note if you do make this recipe. But honestly, it was pretty good. I mean, pretty simple. I might add a couple more flavors into it next time if I make it, but if you're looking for something simple to do, I would definitely recommend. So as always, if you're new to my channel, make sure you follow me on Instagram and TikTok for content throughout the week. I do lots of grocery hauls and shorter recipes and trying out different foods from different grocery stores, so definitely check me out there. And if you're new and haven't yet subscribed, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the videos that I post on Thursdays and Sundays. Thanks again for watching Morgs Menu, and I hope you have a great day. Bye guys.